Okay. Good, geh mal live. Hello everybody, and a big hello to Lea. Lea Metz is my interview partner for today. We meet for the second time. Lea is a health coach and intuitive yoga teacher, and she works a lot with habits and habit formation. And this is exactly what we're gonna talk about today. Welcome, Lea.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Maria, for the invitation to be here today. I'm super excited about what we're going to talk. Habits. Really interesting, really powerful. So I can't wait to share a little bit.
Awesome. I'm very curious. I don't know a lot about habits, and I'm sure you can enlighten me. So, what are habits? Let's start with the basic question. What are habits?
Perfect. I love to start with the basics. Basics are so important and we love to forget them. So it's good to also be a reminder about them sometimes. So for everyone who already knows a bit about habits, it's still, good to maybe hear it one more time in order to take it in better, right? So basically, what habits are? They are automated thought processes. That means these thought processes were shaped by your previous experiences and your thinking and your reactions in those situations. So basically the brain remembered, oh, okay, this thinking pattern, this reaction pattern that works for me right now. In an evolutionary sense, that means, we survived all good. Mm-hmm. In our modern world, it is going to be translated a little bit different because it's not about surviving anymore, right? But it was useful to us to react that way. And because we react this way a few times in a row, over and over again, the connection in our brain gets stronger. Mm-hmm. And well, I guess, the question which pops up now is, why does our brain, automate thinking patterns? And this is because it is just the most efficient way. So for example, every day you brush your teeth, you open your toothpaste, and you don't consciously think about how do you open that, right? You just, do that grip, twist it, and it works. Mm-hmm. Imagine you would need to think about that every single time. This is a lot of capacity and energy the brain needs to use. And you can use it for much more important things, for developing other skills. So this is why the brain automates processes. And these are habits. And everyone has habits, even if you haven't heard of it yet, you have habits.
Well, apparently you have a lot of habits, right? When it starts in the morning. Already.
Exactly. You create them automatically if you want, if you don't want. And you do have the option to put some attention and focus into that in order to shape those habits, depending on your goals, on the lifestyle you want to live. So yeah, this is why it is so powerful. As you said, we have so many habits. It starts in the morning, when you wake up every day at the same time. At one point, you don't need your alarm anymore, right? Because your body got used to that sleeping cycle you're in. And this is also a habit. Thinking about brushing the teeth in the morning is also a habit. Drinking the coffee is a habit. Everything, even if it's that tiny little small, everything we do on a daily, regular basis are habits. Exactly. And that's why it is so powerful.
So when we have so many habits, like they're useful for us, right? So why would we want to change them?
Very good question. So not all habits are useful. I think everyone can truly say to himself, not everything what I do on a regular basis is useful, is good for my health, is good for my for achieving my goals, for living the lifestyle I want. We all have, tiny little things in our backpack which we carry, from our past, which also created habits which might not be, very to your life. So that could be, for example, a smoking habit. For example, it could be a drinking habit. It could be a habit of overthinking. I think this is one habit many people deal with.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, and those habits, as I said, you can, when you put your focus on it, you can take them into your hands. You can work with that. Of course, first you have to understand what is already there. This is what we were talking about in our last interview, right? Creating that fundament of getting to know what is already there and getting to know myself better. What are my values, my priorities?
Yeah.
How do I want to view the world? Do I want to see the glass half full or half empty? That's a decision to take. And after you took that decision and you're sure about which direction you want to go to, it makes sense to approach it strategically, right? It's just, having a little strategy makes things so much easier, because we were mentioning last time as well, relying on your willpower is a tough game. Really tough.
It is. And I notice for myself, when I get tired, or it's like I've made a lot of decisions or a lot is going on, I'm like, yeah, whatever. So towards the end of the day, I'm like, oh yeah, sure. Like I think it's easier to fall back to the habits if you like them or not.
Yeah, exactly. I absolutely agree. And this is a big advantage of preparing for, situations, because you don't leave it up to destiny if it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Up to if your willpower is strong enough, if your motivation is strong enough, all that kind of stuff. But you step out, you don't allow this emotional decision to happen, because at the end of the day you are in a different emotional state when it comes to what am I going to do now. It is easy to say, okay, I'm going to do that in the future, but it is difficult to take the step, okay, I'm going to do that now. And all those thoughts that, should I, what are the advantages, the disadvantages, and so on, and the emotions come into play. And probably, your pig dog as well, who just wants to lay on the sofa, and you probably, are not ending up doing what you wanted to do. So when you take this decision in a moment which is a little bit apart, where you can be rational, it helps yourself to create this situation of, this is going to happen now. It is not a question, right? So let's make it easy. That's the point. Use preparation in order to make it easy for yourself. Yeah.
Yes. And can habits help with that? So can you use habits to like make life easier?
Absolutely. Habits are, I would say, the most powerful way to make your life easier, to, establish healthy, habits in your life, and have the advantages of that, the good feeling and everything. That all doesn't have to be stressful. Habits are great to use, a great tool to do that. And starting strategically, knowing your base. That's the first step to go. You really need a strong base, because if this is wobbly, the rest on top is going to be wobbly as well.
Okay. So how do you create that?
So the questions which we asked in the first interview firstly answering a few questions about the status quo, what is already there.
Mm-hmm.
There are, I have a set of questions actually, if you like, I can link them later. I have
Yes.
kind of a workbook for those, preparation steps for the fundament. So firstly, we go a little bit deep and look inside what is already there. And then secondly, we have a look at the mindset. So the perspective, your point of view to the world. And it continues then with the big, big question of your why. What are your values? Why do you do the things you do? Why do you have the goals you have? Why are your priorities like that? Yeah.
And do the habits match the values and priorities?
Exactly. Right? And then it carries on into the habit part, where we see if the habits actually, like, if the priorities match the values and if the habits match the priorities, it is a change. Yeah.
So I can imagine this part alone, and I know it from my own process, that this can be painful when you realize that you kind of have been lying to yourself, and just like sitting down and say, okay, I thought or I pretended that like everything's lined up in my life, and when I tell the truth, it's like, no, it's actually not true. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you say that. I love that you just said that, because that is a very, very important point. I'm sure many people would directly think in that direction, but take a breath here, hold on for a moment, because we want to, you want to do something good to yourself here. And we were already talking last time, and also in the interviews we had in my Facebook group, right, about judgment, judging yourself. So it is very important that before you start this process, you take the conscious decision of not judging yourself throughout, because this is going to go in the wrong direction. You're not going to do good for yourself. It doesn't matter what happened in the past. You cannot change it anymore. It is good to keep it in mind in order to learn from it.
Yes.
But there's no reason to punish yourself for it. So please, have a loving and patient approach with yourself, and then start the questions. Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that
Loving
is
yourself and accepting what's been here, and yeah, exactly as you said, all the decisions that I have made in my life, even though I would not agree with them anymore and I would do it differently now, at this moment, in my past, I made a decision for very good reasons. Maybe I didn't know better, maybe I was afraid, maybe that was the easiest way to do it, but it was okay in this moment, and now I can make different decisions.
Exactly, and it's absolutely okay also in this moment, because whatever decisions you took in the past, they made you the person you are right now. And I think it's beautiful as well to look back and see, okay, I wouldn't do that again, I wouldn't take the same decision again. Because why is that? Because you develop, and that is beautiful. This can all be a really beautiful thing, of a personal development process.
Yeah.
Or it can be, I don't know, punishing yourself, being judgmental, and what do you have from that?
Yes.
It doesn't change anything. So this is a hard decision to take, absolutely, for every single human being, but it is a decision, you take, which is gonna open up the rest of your life. So don't be judgmental with yourself. There's no point behind that.
And being judgmental can also be a habit, right? A habit you might not be aware of.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is so true. Yeah.
So how do you change your habits? Like strategic, you mentioned strategically, so it's like there is a process behind it, and there's actually like steps you can take
exactly
that will lead you to the result that you want. So tell us more, Lea.
Right, I will give a little overview, because I know I like to go into detail, right? And then maybe, I lose some listeners.
You do it your way. Yes.
So Numero uno, a clear fundament. We were just talking about going deep, asking certain questions in order to understand your status quo, your perspective, what are your values, your priorities. That is step number one. The step number two is, start to daydream. Think about what would be your ideal week. Create your dream week, And when you do that, of course, when you have, work commitments, you have to be at certain times at work, fill that in first. But then, carry on with the points which are important for you. What is important for you in order to be the best version of yourself? This is in general definitely a good sleeping behavior, a good eating behavior. We are what you eat. That is just, I've never heard a sentence that was a bit better and was clearer than this one. It is also, very important for your mind and for your body to move, to use the body you have, because it is made for it. So you want to get the best out of it. You're going to create healthy habits. And you have a look in your calendar. Okay, where do I have space to put in? Let's start small, 15 minutes. One very common mistake with planning is as well that we like to exaggerate a little bit. In our excitement, yay, I'm gonna do that, it's happening finally, and I put it on paper, which is already kind of a reward because you see it in your calendar.
Yeah.
And we like to, directly put in an hour or something.
Yes.
But it is just more likely that it's not going to work out, the plan you create, when you try to make it a long period of time, a big appointment. Rather start small commitments, get used to it. The same way I guess you would teach someone else, something. You start small, you don't want to overwhelm them.
Yeah.
Get into a routine, get this thinking pattern, and then build up from there. The same patience you have with other people, just apply it on yourself as well.
Oh my God, I don't have a lot of patience. But so starting small can be even more important than when you're like, but I want the result now.
But the thing is, when you do let's say a big event once in a while, then it's not going to be a fast process of habit creation, because you have a lot of time in between, and then you have a big chunk, and then afterwards you're probably exhausted and don't want to think about it anymore for a while. That's a little bit counterproductive. So the thing with the taking just little chunks of time, little amounts of time, is as well that it allows you to do it on a more regular basis. For example, when you take every time 15 minutes, to just spend with your body and your mind, going inside, feeling yourself, kind of. When you do that every day, 15 minutes, then you're gonna connect much faster with yourself than when you do it 1 hour a week, right?
Yeah.
I think that kind of makes sense.
Yes. And what's also coming up for me with the long versus short time, it's not just that you're adopting something new, a new behavior or a new thought, but in those 15 minutes or 1 hour, there is a lot of things you would have done instead, right? There is a lot of habits that you have to let go in order to make space for the new habit, right? And I can imagine that in 15 minutes, it's like, okay, maybe I can let go of the habit of just lying around on the couch in a very twisted way, versus in an hour, there's lots of old habits that I would have to let go of.
Exactly, yeah. And what the habits are, like which are gonna be probably the most challenging in that situation. Our habits we have in our mind, like our thinking patterns, when we think about, okay, what could I have done? What do I have to do? When do I do that? And oh God, the situation with my brother the other day, and so on, the ever talking mind. Because you might feel stressed when you try to free an hour, let's say in the morning. I mean, in the morning it's about probably getting up and getting to work, kind of. So yeah, I can imagine when you try to free one entire hour in this period of time, it can feel stressful. And when it feels already stressful, your mind, kind of prepares for that stressful situation, and then it's there and it carries on. It's just like a train background. Yeah, so there you can see there are loads of advantages by starting small. You make it easier for yourself. You can facilitate it more regularly, and therefore it helps building a habit more quickly. Exactly.
So we have got, to recap what we've got until now. So getting clear on your priorities, your values, where you're standing right now.
Yeah.
Getting truthful about what's actually going on in your life, what your habits are. And then daydreaming. And we're like, okay, where do I want to go? And like picking one or two things, maybe that, and putting them into the calendar in small chunks of time.
Exactly. Write it in your calendar. Don't only think about when you could do it, make it happen. What do you do when you have an appointment, right? You don't want to forget about it. There's always the possibility we forget about things, or other stuff comes in the way. So you put in your calendar, do the same with your self-care, because it is a priority. It should be a priority, because if you don't take care of yourself properly, you just don't have that much to give. You can just give what you have, and this is where I say it can be a beautiful process. I'm super excited,
So what happens? It's in the calendar, and then I gotta do it, right?
Exactly. So it's like, yeah, okay, one step closer to this is happening. And then I want to give you 2 other tips how to support yourself in creating a new habit. And this is one, situation support, which we were like mentioning last time as well, and something about the accountability, because this is probably the biggest obstacle, the accountability. See, I will start to walk with you guys. I'm sorry, my laptop just said he's almost low of battery. So, but I will try to keep talking it the same way. I hope that works out. Creating a new habit here. Right.
So can you have an accountability with yourself?
You can have an accountability with yourself, definitely. And that starts with planning it. As we said, you plan other things in your life. You plan, your priorities in your life. So do the same with your self-care. This is one step to your self-accountability. And by preparing, we go directly into situation support. You want to prepare everything possible, remove every obstacle possible in order to make these barriers smaller. And situation support can be a removing things that would keep you from creating this new habit. I don't know, for example, if I want to stop smoking, I'm not gonna have cigarettes at home, for example. Same with sweets, or in that kind of direction. And it can also be that you leave yourself reminders around. For example, you want to create this 15-minute habit of doing some yoga in the morning, then roll out the yoga mat, prepare your yoga place already, so you wake up and it's there. It's not a question, I'm too lazy to get the yoga mat out. Every single little thing that could pop up from your little pig dog inside, which we all have, try to avoid them in advance. This is, the big deal with situation support. Very, very useful when you want to create a new habit. And accountability, it supports with accountability as well. And what is great with accountability is just, not keeping it to yourself. When you want to gain more self-accountability, you have to, you know, share what you're about to do. It can be with your partner, you know, tell him why it is important to you to create this habit and this is your plan. And you can even say it would be great when you see that I'm struggling to support me, or have a little bit an eye on me as well, push me in the right direction, a little bit like that. Like partners are great for that purpose as well.
Yeah.
Wonderful. If that's not an option, there is always the possibility of getting a coach aside who really puts his or her focus into you, and it is about you want to achieve a certain goal. And I'm here to support, because a helping hand is very, very useful in this entire process, because questions are going to raise up. That is normal. And maybe the motivation is not always that high, all those things, they are natural. So accountability buddy in any kind of form is very helpful in that. And what you can do as well, I do that myself as a coach, in order to get me doing my things as well, having my deadlines, because self-employed, right? I put my deadlines, but I use situation support and accountability as well to keep my business running. So what I like to do is I like to post on social media, this is gonna happen, who is in,
Yes, everybody knows that.
Yeah, everybody knows. And then I have to make it happen, and sometimes, it just starts there, that I start preparing, but at the end of the day, I get it done. So that is a really useful system as well. If you like to share on social media, share your goals on social media, you probably get as well some support from other people, because it is great when you know what you want and you go for it, and you dare to say, hey, yes, I'm gonna do that now. That is so cool. That is really inspiring for other people as well.
It is. And I just did that 2 days ago. I made like a vision board and I posted it in a group on Facebook.
Yeah.
And that was a stretch. And the people were like, of course you're going to reach that. And like often other people believe in you more than you do yourself. But for them, it's like, of course you're going to do it. Like, sure.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. I'm going to take this opportunity to speak to the members of this group, and I invite you and encourage you to put into the comments one or two habits that you want to form, or also a goal where you want to go, and put it out there and put it into this group, and make it one step more real by writing it out, because you have to think about it first, and get clear, like clearly make a sentence, and it's not just vague thoughts of like, maybe it's going to look like this, but it's going to be more concrete, and write it down for us to see it and to cheer you on and celebrate you, and support you. You can also write down if you need any support, just write it there, and support is going to show up more probably.
Absolutely. And as I mentioned before, I'm happy to give some support directly with the workbook, which creates the fundament of everything we're just talking about. It is absolutely for free. That is kind of a little promotion from my side. I will just pop it in the comments if you are serious about that and you want to either create a habit, get rid of a kind of stubborn habit, or just want to enhance your lifestyle a little bit. First, answer a few important questions to yourself, get to know yourself better, what you want in life, and then start strategically. Exactly. And enjoy this process. Really.
So we're coming to the end of this interview. Is there anything else you want to say, Lea?
Well, lovely Maria, I already invited you as well. Maybe, some people think as well they would like to create a yoga habit in the morning. On Fridays, I teach in my group on Facebook here as well. Well, actually on Zoom, sorry, I changed that, it's on Zoom nowadays. I teach a 30 minutes yoga class, just, to start calmly into the day. And, if you like, make it your appointment, put it in your calendar. I'm gonna be there, I'm happy to see you. And yeah, Maria, I'm happy to see you tomorrow.
When is it?
8:30.
8:30?
8 to 8:30.
It starts at 8. Is it gonna be in German?
It's gonna be in German. Yeah, that's a very good point. Sorry, good that you mentioned it.
Okay, excellent. So if somebody is interested, what should they do?
You know what? I will just link that as well in the comments. I think that's the easiest way to do. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So it's gonna be tomorrow and every Friday at 8 a.m. Central European Summertime in your Zoom account for half an hour.
Yeah, absolutely. I would be so happy to see, you and other lovely faces there.
Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. Thank you for this really lovely talk. Exactly to the audience out there, whatever questions might have popped up, it is a really, really broad and complex topic, Let's start the conversation, just pop it into the chat.
Yes, thank you so much. And we're gonna meet 2 more times and we're gonna talk more about the dream week and also habits and well-being. So thank you so much and have a good day.
Have a lovely day, everybody. I look forward to next time.
Bye.
Ciao.